What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan and I'm BManX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have our next deck profile for the BT13 format. We have the blue MirageGaogamon Burst Mode. So this is our third deck with Burst Mode cards in it. We are doing one of each of the Burst Mode decks because they are really good. They're really fantastic, really fun to play, and give you all sorts of different options on how to play the game. And they really are quite all, they're really, really good. Burst modes are just, they're really great. I'm glad that they made them all in one set because it gives you different options for different play styles, and that's really cool. But let's get into the deck profile. It's been a while. We've gotten so much MirageGaogamon support over the years, and we finally have a good deck, so that's really cool. So starting off, we have for Wanyamon. It's the when attacking, if you have a blue tamer in play, draw one once per turn. Just the best egg for blue right now. Any deck that plays multiple blue tamers, this is your egg. It's just all that's necessary. Starting with the rookies, we play 4 of the EX. For Gaomon, on play, both players draw the top card of their decks. This is really good because your deck revolves around your opponent having more than 8 cards in their hand. So that's perfect. Gets you to your pieces, gets your opponent set up for bad things to happen. And then its inheritable is really great too. Your turn once per turn. When an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain a memory. So it helps you get memory gain. And then we have 4 of the Gaomon from BT11. He's on play, reveal the top 3, add 1 Digimon card with Gaogamon in its name and 1 blue tamer from among them to your hand, trash the rest. This is really cool because it's any blue tamer and also any of your Gaogamon pieces. So that's really, really cool. It is interesting because it is trash the rest instead of putting them on the bottom of the deck. And then he has an inheritable when attacking. If you have a tamer in play, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. Doesn't come up a lot, but it's there, and there are other effects you get from returning stuff to your opponent's hand, so it can come up. It can be really good. We play 1 Gaomon from BT13. He's when attacking. Both players draw 1 card from their decks. It's when attacking, so it's not as good. I only like 1 of him. And his inheritable is while your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. Again, not always going to be super relevant, which is why I feel 1 of him is okay. And then I also play 2 Vmon. Now, BT11 Vmon, I play this guy more for the inheritable and the chance to get a tamer name. So it's reveal top 3, add 1 Digimon card with Vdramon in its name and 1 blue tamer card among them to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it doesn't trash your stuff. But he does add tamers to your hand, which can be very valuable. You probably are more likely going to put this guy in your stack because he has when you play a blue tamer, gain a memory. So that's really good. And why I think it's almost as good, if not better than this. So that's why, if I didn't play this, I'd probably play 3 of that, but I think this is fine, just the way it is. So that's 11 rookies. For champions, we play 4 of the BT13 Gaogamon, which is when Digivolving, if you don't have a Thomas, you can play a Thomas without paying the cost. And inheritable while your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, 1000 DP. And that's why you don't really need the other one, because getting a boost from him is already good enough. You play 4 of the EX4 Gaogamon, which is when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand, so that's kind of cool. And then when his inheritable is the better part, when an effect adds cards to your opponent's hand, gain a memory. So he helps you get that memory gain. That's the EX4 Gaogamon. And then we play 2 Lanamon. I would have played, BT12. Yeah, I didn't really like the BT12 Gaogamon. He's not that great. So I opted to play this card instead because it can Digivolve on a tamer, so you can go hybrid for game. As well as the when Digivolving by placing a blue level 3 Digimon card from your hand as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your blue Digimon. That's one, not though this stack. It could be like your MirageGaogamon. This Digimon gains jamming for the turn. So it gains jamming, so it can attack and not worry about dying, and you potentially put really good inheritables under your other Digimon. So I feel like this is a better trade-off, honestly, for this deck. So, and it puts me where I want to be, which is 10 level 4s. So I think Lanamon is a really good choice. For level 5s, it's kind of all over the place. We play 3 MirageGaogamon from EX4, which is when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to the owner's hand. And then when attacking, inheritable, once per turn, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So you get to unsuspend your level 6, which is going to happen a lot of the time. And then we play 2 of the MirageGaogamon from BT13, which is when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. This Digimon gains blocker, which is really, really good, and gets 2,000 DP for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. That's really good too. I feel like it's really good. It's just not good enough, in my opinion, to play 4. But he also has, when an effect adds cards to your opponent's hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So that's really good too. So you get the unsuspend off of that variant too. But I also wanted to try 2 of the BT13 MirageGaogamon, which is when attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand for the turn, this Digimon's attack target can't be switched, which is kind of good. If you have blockers, you can get through and get game. And then he also has all turns, once per turn, inheritable. When an effect adds cards to your opponent's hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So he's got the same inheritable. It's just the difference between the blocker and the boost, or not being able to be blocked if your opponent has 8 or more cards, which I think is a cool combo, especially if it's something you might be going for game. You could go for game with your level 5 because you can't be blocked. You can't be switched. So that's really, really good. So that's 7 level 4s, level 5s, my bad. 7 ultimates. And then into our megas, we play 4 of the really good BT11 MirageGaogamon. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. So you get those abilities, those inheritables going off for returning. If no Digimon was returned by this effect, your opponent adds the top card of their security stack to your hand. Again, really, really good, really powerful. Gets rid of those troublesome security cards you don't want to have to attack through. All turns, once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. So basically you can go into him and still maintain turn, which is really, really cool. We play 1 of the MirageGaogamon from BT13. He's got Evade, which is actually really cool. When Digivolving, return one of your opponent's tamers to the hand, which is really good, but it's not as good as this because your opponent's not always going to have tamers depending on what you're playing against. So I think at 1 it's good because it does give you that option against things like Shine or other tamer heavy decks. And then all turns, once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your opponent's hands, you can play a Thomas from your hand without paying the cost. And it doesn't require you to not have one. So that's really good. So that's it for our level 6s. And we play 3 MirageGaogamon Burst Mode. We'll see if I want this at 4. I'm starting at 3 for now. And we'll see how I like it. If there's definitely things I could cut if I wanted to put this to 4. But for right now, I think 3 is a good number. When Digivolving, so you burst Digivolves by returning a Thomas to your hand from MirageGaogamon for 0. And then when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the hand, then gain memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. When attacking, if your opponent has 9 or more cards in their hand, by choosing cards in your opponent's hand without looking and returning them to the bottom of the deck so that 8 remain, unsuspend this Digimon. So you can potentially attack multiple times, and if you can add cards to their hand after that, you can keep doing this effect and keep unsuspending and attacking. So this is really, really cool. So he's your main guy. He's your win con. You want to see him. But 3, I think, is a perfect number. 4 might be even better, but right now I'm liking 3. For Tamers, we got Thomas from BT13. We're playing 3 of him. He's your memory setter. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon with Gaomon or Gaogamon, its name, attacks by suspending this tamer, both players draw 1. So it helps you get that up to 8 cards you need. He's a 4 cost. He's expensive. We also play the 3 cost Thomas from back in BT4. Yeah, we play a BT4 card in this deck. On play, trigger, draw 1, which is really great. And then main, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, you may suspend this tamer to unsuspend one of your Digimon with Gao in its name. So this is just helps you, go off and just do, if you have multiples of this, you can do that multiple times. So that is really cool. And then we play 2 Nikolai because start of your main phase, One of your Digimon with Gaomon or Gaogamon in its name gains jamming for the turn. Royal Knights is a thing in this format. They're big, and your security checks are going to kill you. So having jamming is super important. He's only a 3 cost, so that's really good. And you can add him with all those tamer effects that allow you to add a blue tamer, so that's really good. And then when an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. So that's really cool. Just extra memory gain. So I think this is a perfect ratio, 3, 3, and 2. But we'll see how things go on. But I'm liking this so far. So that's it for our tamers. Lastly, we have our options. We play 2 mem boosts for consistency, memory consistency, as well as getting to your pieces. We play 2 Sorai because it's really good being able to trash all your opponent's Digivolutions and then tell their Digimon that they can't attack for the next turn, which is really great. And then we play 2 Full Moon Meteor Impact, which is an 8 cost, but it's return one of your opponent's Digimon to the hand, then gain memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand, which makes this a lot cheaper. Especially if you get to 12 cards, it's only a 5 cost, and with the memory gain you have, this is actually pretty good. And then security, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the hand, which can be really good because it can set off your inheritables. So just really great package there. I think I like it this way. If I was going to drop these, I'd probably run more Sorai because they're so good. But that is the deck. That's how we are liking it right now. MirageGaogamon. I do have alternates coming because you know me. I love my alternates. And so I will be having those coming in the mail so I can finish blinging out the deck. But anyways, tell me what you guys think. Did you like the deck profile? Do you think I could have done anything better? I always appreciate your comments. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. If you enjoyed today's content, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. And that's all for now, folks.